President Trump continues to put his stamp on Washington, D.C. The White House says the Kennedy Center's board of directors has voted to rename the Cultural Arts Center the Trump Kennedy Center. NPR's Andrew Limbong has more.
President Trump's press secretary said that adding Trump's name was a unanimous decision from the board, which Trump chairs, and he handpicked the members. But Democratic lawmakers who are ex-officio members of the board sent a statement saying that the name is written into federal law and that changing the Kennedy Center's name is outside the president's authority and needs congressional action. In 1964, President Johnson signed legislation naming it the Kennedy Center as a living memorial to President John F. Kennedy after he was assassinated. Other members of Kennedy's family have criticized Trump adding his name. His niece, Maria Shriver, posted on social media calling it not dignified and beneath the stature of the job. Andrew Limbong, NPR News.
And earlier this month, the Trump administration renamed the U.S. Institute of Peace the Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace. The nonprofit think tank focuses on peace initiatives, and the president credits himself for easing a series of conflicts around the world. The State Department says the new name would, quote, reflect the greatest dealmaker in our nation's history. Earlier this year, the U.S. Department of Agriculture hung 2 banners outside its headquarters in Washington. One banner depicted Abraham Lincoln. The other featured President Trump. Meanwhile, a federal judge is allowing work to continue on President Trump's massive ballroom project at the White House. The judge denied a temporary restraining order to halt construction that had been sought by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. NPR's Tamara Keith has more.
The National Trust for Historic Preservation argued that continued work on the president's ballroom could foreclose changes to the design that might come through the typical review process. But U.S. District Judge Richard J. Leon writes in his order that the government committed to consulting with the appropriate commissions by the end of the month, and that the court would hold them to it. The judge writes that by the government's telling, footings and below-ground structural concrete for the ballroom won't begin until February, and that, quote, nothing about the ballroom has been finalized, including its size and scale. Trump recently described it as a $400 million project, double the sum first announced in July. Tamara Keith, NPR News.
And I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News. For more of today's news, be sure to like and follow us or check out NPR News Now, wherever you get your podcasts.